And that's what we have going on right now. Now, it's space astronomy. Okay, we have an immediate casualty on deck. Hubble, not Hubble, excuse me, Kepler, the Kepler Space Telescope, okay, is being threatened with cut-off in mid-mission. Now this, I mean, how irrational can this be? This is a mission where we've already paid all the money to build it. We've gone through all the risks associated with launching it and getting it up there and having it work. And now it's working and it's churning out the data, and they're going to cut it off in mid-mission to save pennies. Okay? Now, by the way, cutting, it's not like you operate Kepler for 2 years and, well, we basically got most of what we were going to know. Okay, the Kepler telescope works by watching eclipses of the stars, periodic eclipses, and has to count at least 3 to get any kind of reliable determination that there was a planet there blocking the star 3 times in a row. Okay, which means if you're only up there 2 years, if you manage to catch all 3 eclipses, the shortest period planet you can see is one with a period of around 7 months. And this thing was put up there to find new Earths. We absolutely have to have it operating for 4 years if we're going to have a reasonable chance for it accomplishing this fundamental mission. Okay, so cut this thing off in midstream? No way. The Webb, okay, now the Webb's got some funding, but it's really in grave danger because it's not being funded at a level that will allow it to be completed in a timely fashion. And in aerospace, cost is people times time. The more you stretch out a program, the more it's going to cost. You're going to rack up overruns, and under current fiscal conditions, you do that at a certain point, there's a very serious chance that people will lose patience and say, sorry, this has just gone on too long. It's gone on too long. It's gone on too long because they made it go on too long. But nevertheless, it's gone on too long. Pull the plug. Goodbye, Webb. Okay? And Webb is the core of NASA's future. Okay, it's its most important single science mission. It also, in my view, is essential for the future of the human spaceflight program. If we get Webb up there at the Lagrange point in fairly deep space, okay, humanity has staked a claim. It has put a major asset, one really worth defending and servicing, out there in space. Okay, which would be a role for people, even though that's not currently contemplated in the program. The thing is made so that it can be serviced, and it should be serviced, because we shouldn't just put this up there and operate it for, 6 years or some other time. We should keep going with this, just like Hubbard has proven to be far more successful and upgradable over time since 1990 when it was launched. And I think we should not only launch Webb, we should keep it up there. Now, so we should not leave Webb in a condition where the funding drifts and they can't even get it launched by the end of this decade. I mean, really, trying to do a program like Webb over, 15 years is like trying to, charge across a battlefield in slow motion. Okay, it's not how you're going to get across. You get shot if you just kind of walk in slow motion across no man's land. And that's what this thing is. We've got to get it done. It should be funded on a level that allows it to get done. Now, I also have to say that especially given the state of confusion that the human spaceflight program is in right now, which I'll get to in a minute, it is essential to the agency as a whole as these missions go forward, the planetary missions and the space astronomy missions. These are the departments that really deliver the goods. Okay, these are the most productive parts of NASA. NASA earns its credibility by its missions. Okay, that's when it delivers. Okay, and if you kill these programs, the agency is going to be indefensible. The entire space enterprise, okay, really one of the grandest chapters in the history of America, will be in peril. Okay, NASA's a mixed bag. It's got departments that are divisions and aspects of it that are very productive, parts that are not productive at all, and parts that are in between. You kill the most vital parts of NASA, the ones that really have delivered results that are beyond compare. The whole ship's going to just go down. Okay. far as the manned program is concerned. The manned program needs to take a leaf from the book of the robotic planetary program. The robotic planetary program has been so productive because it is mission-driven. It looks at missions that it wants to do, it figures out how to do them, and then it does it. It doesn't like work on miscellaneous technologies and then try to figure out a mission where they could put, airbags to use. We really like to do something with airbags. Can we think of something we can do with our airbags? Okay, no, they figure a mission, and if they understand technology is not the constituency of the program, it is the vendors to the program. Okay, and that's how the human spaceflight has to run. And furthermore, it has to be science-driven. We should send humans into space on missions that are worthy of the costs and risks of human spaceflight. Okay? Apollo filled that bill. Hubble repair filled that bill. Okay? I have to say, in my view, simply going up and down to the space station indefinitely to do studies on the effects of zero gravity on humans does not fit that bill. Humans should be explorers in space, not guinea pigs. Okay? Supporting Webb would be worth that bill. Sending humans to Mars would be worth that bill. Now, why humans to Mars? Because Mars is a complex environment. There are complex scientific questions there that require the skills, the ingenuity, versatility of a human explorer. Okay? On the ground geologists and microbiologists and micropaleontologists doing the rock hounding, looking for the fossils, and the fossil hunting is an extremely complex thing. The rovers are great, but you could land 100 rovers in my state of Colorado, you'd never find a dinosaur fossil, so you need the rock hounds out there to find them. Okay? It's worth sending humans there. It's worth sending humans to Mars to set up drilling rigs, okay, to drill down and reach the water that's underground where there might still be life today, and subject it to examination and see what it's like, and see if it has the same biochemistry as Earth life. All Earth life has the same biochemistry. Does Mars life has that? Do we find simpler organisms on Mars than on Earth that could represent missing links between chemistry and life in a way that we simply don't find on Earth? Okay, this is worth sending human explorers. This is worth spending treasure, risking human life to do. Okay? Now, the human spaceflight program right now is in severe disorganization. It has no objectives for the next 10 years. The program is currently constituted, proposes to spend a lot of money for the next 10 years in order to accomplish nothing, actually. And I believe that under current fiscal conditions, that can't hold up, actually. It's wrong. And it is said, in other words, the current administration killed the previous moon program, which in my view was defective in that while it was an objective, it was not an objective that was strongly defensible from a scientific point of view. But they substituted first no objective and then the near-Earth asteroid mission, except the near-Earth asteroid mission is not being pursued as a mission. It's just being put out there as a dream. If you want to do a near-Earth asteroid mission, which is of some interest because it is in a way a practice mission that accomplishes some of the things required to do a Mars mission. That requires a heavy lift booster, a HAB module, and a capsule. Okay? It does not require a gigantic interplanetary spaceship run by plasma drives and 2,000 kilowatt nuclear electric propulsion systems and all sorts of things like this that basically put the mission off into the future beyond the planning horizon of real-world engineers. So that program needs to be focused. We need a science-driven human spaceflight program, and that means one with real objectives, which it attempts to do within the time frame of people who are planning the mission now and funding it to do it, and finding the most efficient ways to do it. But those things are needed. We need to keep the program we have now, which is productive, which is the planetary program and the space astronomy program, and we've got to make the human spaceflight program productive as well. Now, if we don't do that, we're faced with Goddamn here, and not just the cuts that are already under discussion, but the potential cuts that could be on the way if certain things, develop with this super committee or don't develop with the super committee, and so forth and so on. Now, I have to say, I'm a pretty controversial person, as you may know, and so whenever I write an article, I always get attacked by some people. And I wrote an article last week in the Washington Times saying that all these cuts were being made, and so naturally I was attacked. But it may interest you to know that virtually every single one of the attackers did not attack me by saying, well, these are tough times and they need to take their cuts. No, not one person said that. Instead, they all said, this is incredible. This cannot be happening. Okay, he must be lying that these cuts are happening. Okay, no one would do this. No one would do this. This is beyond comprehension that anyone would make cuts like this. No, we can't believe it. Okay, this is incredible. Yeah, and it is incredible. Okay, it defies comprehension. Okay, it's a mistake beyond comprehension. It shouldn't be allowed. Now, yeah, there's a tough budget. But look, why is there a tough budget? Federal spending has increased 40% since 2008. NASA spending increased 5%. Okay? The reason why there's a giant deficit is not because of NASA. Okay? It's because of the party that's going on elsewhere. Okay? And we shouldn't make the program that has been living within its means and delivering results the casualty for misspending elsewhere. That's what needs to be addressed. And it's untenable. So that's the choice before us. Whether we continue in the way that we have with a program that has been epic in its history and its significance and what it does for the nation and how it inspires millions of youth to enter science and engineering, both here and get those from abroad to come here to be part of this, okay, and join us in this, okay, or whether we let this jewel in our crown be trashed based on misconduct elsewhere, okay? I don't think we can. So I think we need to take a stand for this. Thank you.